Hey guys, so just got the Flashforge AD5X. And we're going to unbox it today. I do really like the packaging. Alrighty. Very nice. Nice set of instructions. Nice thank you. Quick start guide. Oh! Look at that. Boom. Oh, very nice. There's a little damage on the package. I was a little worried that it may have gotten scratched up, but with this nice foam there, we didn't have to worry about that too much. Oh, and I ended up putting it right side up again. There we go. Look at that. All right. Let me clean up here a little bit. A little movie magic. And we're back. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. You know, start off with this guy here. I got this stuff with the 5D5M. It's the adhesive for the bed. And to tell you the truth, I tried it a few times. I did not get it to work as well as just regular run-of-the-mill Elmer's washable super glue. And what's nice about this stuff is it's water soluble. So when I'm ready to clean the bed a little bit, I just take it to the sink and I run really hot water over it and just scrub the heck out of it, and does the job really, really well. And bonus, it's purple, so can't go wrong with that. Recently, I just broke a set of these. There was a just a very thin wire that I was trying to cut real quick, but so getting a new set of these is mint. Some of the lube that they provide you with. This stuff's really good. Helps keep down the noise. I usually break it in a little bit first before I throw the lube on. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that's the way I did it, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far. So that's the end of that bag. We've got, I'm not really sure what this piece is for, but I guess we'll figure it out as we go. This piece right here is to help clean the nozzle out. I lost mine for the 5M. Ended up purchasing a really nice one off of, as you can see, I've put a little bend in it, but what's nice about this thing is it is a little bit malleable. So if you do bend it, you can bend it right back. This is from Creality. They make a really good tool. And ooh, this time pretty sure the 5M, I didn't do a video on it, mostly because I didn't have the channel at the time, but this guy right here, it did not come with this. Very nice. I don't know if you can see that or not, but nice. Tells you exactly what size each one of these Allen wrenches is, which is very nice. And it has a little holder to keep them all together. A bag of screws, I guess we'll find out. And then little screwdriver. I've kept mine from the 5M. I'm sure it's probably about the same, just a Phillips head. All right. Looks like they want you to take it from the bottom first. Well, I'll tell you this, there ain't no way this thing was gonna move around during shipping for sure. Make sure we don't have anything binding. I don't think we do. Just err on the side of caution. Very nice. I love the packaging. Very good. Even brings in very nice pink. I like that. I'm not a huge fan of yellow, but it is useful. I'd rather print in gold if I can versus yellow. I'm going to say, just right off the bat, having not read the instructions as my clan tends to not do, I'm going to take this guy off. And this was just the middle 2.5. Now I'm doing this because I noticed that it's not going to pull out because it's being held in place by this, and I don't want to break that or bend it. So I'm going to take those off. It looks like the ribbon cable is being held up. My presumption is it's going to go right back where it was just as soon as we get all this stuff out. I do like how they keep everything in this foam. It's very nice. I'm going to move you back just a little bit. All right. Gonna unpack all this just so we know what we're working with. That's gonna be And, ooh, very nice. Bosun tubes, hot ends, and there's our piece that's going to pull all of our filaments in. And that is the end of the foam that I can see. All right, bags. There's that. Grab our quick start guide here. And we've done all of this. Did that, removed the foam. Let's see here. That's kind of what I figured. It was gonna go somewhere like that, just like the 5M did. But we gotta figure out how it mounts. Probably mounts the same way, just on these guys right here. I'm not sure what this is for yet, but that's what it's going with. That has us take this little piece off here. Let's grab our 2.5. I believe it's going to be the same. Yep, and it is. We'll set that aside and keep it close by in case we need it. Now, I did grab the camera, but recently found out that you can use a regular webcam, so I wanted to test that out myself. I have a Logitech webcam over here, but while I have this apart and I'm still not completely set yet, grab my handy dandy knife here. This is just a knife that my father actually got me. Very, very nice. Gerber. Stays sharp for quite a while. Alright. Nothing too crazy. I will say, let's grab our little tweezers here. Tweezers. Okay. If you look, there's like a little piece right there. If you can grab it, it comes right off. Now, the reason this is important, when I started my YouTube channel, I was videotaping with the camera and noticed that there was a little bit of a blur, and that was because I forgot to take off the plastic coating, plastic to keep the lens nice during shipping. I do like how they bundle this up. It is very nice and durable, which is nice. They even put a little piece here. I don't know if that's necessary to put camera on, but this pops in just right here. It only goes in one way. You line these little tines up. And push it in. Just don't be too violent if you can help it. It is plastic and very thin metal. So there's these little, we'll get close here. You see those little tines? They go in that little slot right there. I will say that these are hard to remove. So once you're ready to put it in, but know that if you wanted to pull it back out, it does get a little difficult. slot that right there. I'm just doing this by feel. And I could tell that I got it in the right place. So this little guy should go, by judging by the other one, I thought it would go like right there, and I see a little screw hole right there. So I'm going to say that's probably exactly where it goes. I did not see a screw. There it is. Okay, I just missed it. We'll find out what size we're working with here. And this is going to be the 2.5. So there's a little piece right here. That's where that's going to screw in. It goes right on top of the rails. And you just right in there, just like that. Nice and easy. Try not to cross thread. It's going to be difficult, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out. What I've found, best technique for finding how the threads go in is if you go backwards, righty-loosey. First, that'll help you line up the threads, and then go righty-tighty. So, because it was being difficult, we'll just do it this way first, that way we'll loosen those threads up. Probably during the injection molding process, they weren't exactly perfect, but after screwing it in one time, they cleans all the threads right up. Now I'm just going to do it by hand, so I make sure I line everything back up. Yeah, that is much easier. Alright, I'm going to line that right up so it's where I want it. Then I'm going to throw a little German torque method on it, good and tight. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, camera is set, so let's start the next process here. For those following along, we've done the unboxing, we installed the camera. We've installed the screen where it's supposed to go. Now we're going to do the color IFS module, which is this guy right here. Looks like, let's take a look here. I'm going to say it's this side. I'm going to say that because if we turn this guy around, we're going to make sure we keep our screws. Being a dummy, I forgot that I've got one of these. It is very nice when you're working with these little screws like this to throw them into a magnetic tray. You can do the same with your tools. We're just going to do that with our tweezers. Put our Allen wrenches back where we got them from. This piece, I'm not sure if we're going to use that again or not. Then we have a little plastic piece, we'll put that in the tray too. Now the reason I say that I think it's going to be this side is because these little tines match up what I know of the printer looking like in the picture. So I'm going to also just presume that it's going to sit just like this, just because this piece and this piece look like they match up pretty well. So we're going to go with that. see if we got that right, and it looks like we did. Now it's calling for 2 of these little screws here, so let's see if we can't make that happen. Check our Allen wrenches. Yep, looks to be the 2.5. So the middle of the Allen wrenches here. We're gonna go in threads first. Just sometimes during the painting process, the paint will get into the threads, and if you go trying to put it on before you clean the threads out, you're gonna have a nasty time. It's much easier to do it before you try putting the piece on. Let's make sure we got the piece the way it's supposed to go. Looks like it's going to be up like this. Just throwing this out there. If you decide to, when you start, throw your nut in the piece first, then your Allen wrench, then line up your piece. Now you've got something that if you drop, your piece isn't going to fall. Little German torque method, good and tight. Not too much because these are very thin, fine threads. Alright, last step of the process, that's not going anywhere. Okay, so let's see here. It looks like you tilt and you throw it on. I'm gonna go with this because the numbers look like they're gonna be upright. Perfect. Now let's see here. We take this guy here. Looks like there's a screw hole right in the top. I'll bring you over here in a second. We'll take a look. I'm gonna say, we'll move everything over a little bit, and then we'll figure out what kind of screw it takes. It's probably not those because it's threaded, so I'm going to say it's probably one of these guys here. We'll move this guy over. Oh, looks like I missed a little bit of foam here. Throw that guy out. Okay, now let's test our hypothesis here. Get one of these little screws. Get our handy dandy Allen wrench, 2.5. We'll pop the face plate off. Perfect. Very nice. I will say, improvement. If you noticed as I pulled it off, they've got the controller for the fan attached to the faceplate, which is such an improvement. The other one, there's this little piece of wire here. Let me make sure you can see what I'm talking about. This little piece of wire comes off and goes into the print head, which when it pops off can wiggle it out or break or what have you. So much improved, being able to just pull this guy right off instead of having to reach around and pull the plug out for the fan. I like that a lot. Okay. Now, let's not be dumb and forget that we put our little pieces there. I don't know if you could see, but right there is where we're going to try and throw this little guy in, see if that's the right size, make sure it's good. Here we go. That works perfect. Very, very nice. Alright, so let's slide that guy in. And you can see there's a little hole here that lines right up with it. And it slid right in perfect. Alright, looks like we're doing pretty good so far. Now my guess, just from taking a guess, is we got a little clippy deal here. We'll just go to one of the bosun tubes, attach, and now that keeps that power cord right up out of the way there. Again, keep a track of our tools here. Now, while we're messing around back here, I don't see why we shouldn't throw this onto a plug. One of the things I very much recommend, because this guy has same thing as the 5M, the plug back here is not always easy to get to get around it and turn it on and off. Make sure I'm in frame here. So one of the things I recommend you getting is nice, oh, that was nice Roku, or any kind of Wi-Fi enabled, wires plug. Let me make sure you're all good here. Alright, so you do that. I'm going to name this the 5DX. Where did we put that clippy deal? Yep, right here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get this back up so keep our cords all nice and managed back here. Alright. So now let's get on to the next step, which is going to be popping these guys on for the filament. Connect, we already did that. Yep, and we were right. This goes right like that. Now I will say, it says this plastic piece back here goes on something. Let's take a look. So it's going to be for this cord here, which is here and there, and then this guy is this guy here. Doesn't look like there's any difference between. So just plug and plug. Clippy goes on the top. Perfect. Doesn't look like it's going to fall out. So I'm going to say this guy goes right like that. We'll grab a couple more of our screws here. Getting low on screws. I think that means that we're getting close. I'm going to say these threads are pretty clean, but we're going to do the same thing because the paint on the screws can be the same problem. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking. If I'm talking too much, you let me know. According to the picture, let's see. Big end goes down. So we're going to line this up. We did the same thing I did before where I put a screw in first. And that helps me get this thing lined up for the next screw. Bolt. Excuse me. Screw's going to have a pointy end. Bolt's going to have a flat end. Alright. That's nice and secure. Not going nowhere. Plenty of room. It's not going to pull on nothing. Okay. Keep a eye on our Allen wrench. Now, AMS. I see they're numbered here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Now it looks like spool holders have numbers. Perfect. So it looks like we're just going to be able to pop those right on. So 1. Okay. They are tensioned, which is kind of cool, but I don't necessarily like the fact that the number 1 isn't face up, and I don't see a way of not. Oh, maybe. Okay. Got a little OCD running through my blood. I like when things line up just like that. It's perfect. I get why they can't do that all the time. And then my brain just has to deal with it. I did just put that in the wrong place. Doesn't seem to matter. Doesn't look like it's connected to anything. I think this is just a case of helping you identify the spools whenever you're not just going by colors. You can actually identify which spool goes where. And it looks like I can line the numbers up, which is good for my brain. Okay, we're gonna pop this guy right back on. What's nice is it just goes right on like this. There's two little tabs. That is satisfying. Okay, let's get this pointed back where it's supposed to be. All right, let's turn our thing on. Very nice. I like that. Okay. Final piece. Nice. Let me get you in. You can see what I'm doing here. It's asking me what language I want. I want English. Please confirm all the packaging materials inside the device have been removed. They have, but last step is we need to remove the 4 screws before we do anything else. Let's make sure, see what Allen wrench. One thing that I noticed from this one versus the other one, so let me see if I'm going to pull you off and we'll go from there. Alright, you see those arrows? There's 4, there should be 4 screws, maybe there is only 2, or 3, excuse me. So in this one there's only 3. As you can see, I'm printing something. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. So there's 1, 2, and then in the back you see there's 2 more. I do like the brighter yellow to kind of show you where those are. Excuse my finger. There you go. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Alright, hold on while I finish up. I did not buy the plastic pieces. Christmas is coming up, so I got that on my wish list. Plastic pieces for the enclosure, like I've got over here. I have noticed with the enclosure on the 5M that it does cut noise down. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I'll open it up. and close it a couple times. It is nice. Also helps keep the heat inside, which is helpful during the winter because it doesn't consume as much electricity. Now I don't think you need to keep these screws. They're just for these bolts. I believe they are just for packaging purposes, but I tend to never get rid of those kinds of things because you never know. Okay, so let's do next. We're going to do Wi-Fi. Hold while I put all my Wi-Fi stuff in. Alright, so the next step is going to be scanning QR code and binding an account. I'm going to do that now, and then we'll get back on into the video. Alright, looks like we're good. It's just taking its time. So this is going to be the next step. This is some, I don't know if you, let's move you over. This is some LED light strip, which I got. Let's see. It is 24 volts DC. This is just a plug that I got. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the 5M. And add in some lights around the exterior. It's just so dark. Right now it's leveling, so it's going to take its time doing that. There's also going to be a vibration test. Contemplating whether or not to keep you rolling for that or not. I guess we'll see. Guess while you're waiting, I could just real quick show you attaching these two here. Let me get my solder real quick. I've got flux, I've got solder, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the two. Bring it in real quick, real close. All right, get this guy turned on, warmed up. Get our flux. Little dabble, do ya? All right. Negative, positive. Red, positive, black, negative, Very nice. Alright, while we were doing that, looks like it's doing a vibration test. So before it was just doing the leveling. It did do a purge. One of the first prints that I'm going to do is a purge chute. It'll go back from here and out to here, so I can just collect it as we go. Put that away. Where's our? So we don't need this right now. Cover that up. And a little tip. Now my hope is that the where did I set you? I do love this little toolbox. I got it at Lowe's. They have them for the holidays. Very nice. Helps me keep all of my 3D printing tools into one thing. I really don't remember what I did with the silver solder or the solder tip there. It's a little orange piece. I'm sure y'all at home are screaming it's right on my left or right or somewhere, but the life of me, I cannot find it. Maybe it fell down. Oh, there it is. Perfect. There we go. I will put this now back with all the rest of the solder tools. Alright, it looks like it's finishing up its vibration test now. And while we're just talking about it, I really do love this plate. Very nice. While it's trying to finish up, I'll show you what I do. And I kind of feel bad about doing this because it's very, very nice. But I just go across. I try to make sure I get right here because that's where it does its test. Alright, of course it's going to ask me which roll is where. Select a slot. Now, I do need to print some white. So let's put white in one. White is here. Looks like white is just going to be the first one, even though the numbers are slightly off. I'll turn it and I'll show you. See how the numbers are right here. Can I turn my camera down? Turn my camera on. See how the tube's right with the one, but it looks like it should be like right there, but it's not. It's right here. So looks like it's going up pretty well. Trying to follow it. Should be coming in right there. Oh, I thought it was just going to grab it. Filament type is going to be PETG. The color is going to be white. Okay. Let's see. What do I want? Well, I definitely want black. So we'll do PETG black in 2. And again, I'm just loading in. Channel 2 auto loading, please wait. While it's doing that, it's going to be PET G, black, okay. I like that it shows you right on the screen what each one is. Let's do a blue. This one is also PET G, so I think I'm just going to load PET G all the way. And that one is going to go in 3. Change it, PET G. We're just going to say it's blue. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Okay. I've got a really very nice purple that I also think is PET G, but it is a holiday. Let's go with the green. Now, something I am doing, I didn't read it saying that you should do this, but I did load everything on the inside. So I have all the filament rolled to the inside. We're going to say is green. PET G, green. Okay. 2. Not really sure what just happened. Oh, you know what? Rolled out. That's very strange. I hate when stuff does that because now I gotta worry whether or not it's gonna bind up. And it looks like we're clear. PET G black. Alright, so it looks like it's good. We'll say next. What's incompatible? Well, weird. I wonder if I need to So let's pause. It says operation not. Wait, hold on. As soon as it gets there, we'll pause because I want to see why it said incompatible filament. Hold on. Because that should not be PLA. Edit, operation not well allowed printing. Alright, well then we're going to stop what we're doing. Because if we try to print something where it thinks it's PLA versus PET G, we will end up with an issue. Perfect. Alright, what's nice is we can go back here and we can start the whole thing again. Oh, nice. We can tell it which one we want. So this is all PLA. So that's the that was the issue. I do wish it would have said that they already had it preloaded for PLA only. Let's see, next, yeah, that was PLA. PLA. Because I would have put PLA in. I do have some PLA. I don't have any white PLA. I do have a really nice blue though. Let's forego that. This one's PLA here. This one's a really nice one. Let's forego that. And then we are going to move this guy around. Switch everything off, and then we're going to grab our... Oh, looks like we'll unplug it because we're about to mess around with the electrical. Alright, we're going to unplug this guy and move him out of the way for a little bit. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to pull this back panel off. It doesn't look like I'm going to need any of these screws. So they're extras. So we are going to put them in the little bag that they gave us. Definitely apply some pressure because they've got some Loctite on these, which will come out. They're locked in. Oh, very nice. One more after this. Well, I don't want to strip that out. They very much Loctite that guy. Alright. Yep, there you go. So this is actually the same screwdriver they sent me for the 5M. One more. That seemed to get the job done. Oldie but a goodie for sure. Alright. Oh, looks like we're attached by the chute here. I bet you it's that one's going to be the smaller Allen wrench. So we're going for 2. So the 2.5. sweet. Okay. Here is our light. Now, if I remember correctly, with the 5M, there was a small piece here. It says LED on it. I'm going to pull you in real quick, and then you can see. See how it says LED on the yellow tab? So we're going to plug this guy right in, like, oh, we put the wrong one on, or I put the wrong one on. Okay, that's fine. Hold while I get the right part. We're back, and we're back. That's the right one. Alright, well, we're going to push this guy. Put you guys back in your spot here while I do a little bit more solder work. Same thing, negative to negative. Alright, plug this guy in. Again, right in the same spot, there's little tabs. There, it just goes on the top. Let's plug this guy in and we'll see if they light up whenever we get started. If I remember correctly, it takes a second. Let me get on the computer. Another thing that I noticed at one point was you can electronically control these, which is nice. You can check to see what computers are on the network, or what printers are on the network. Wheel shoot. Let's move this guy back around. So either it's shut off, or it just hasn't started. It's been long enough, it's probably started by now. Update records. Please restart the computer, or restart the printer. Positive, negative, that's good.
why, but tools. Throw the camera on. All right, well, let's try resoldering the opposite of what it should be and see if that does it. It might be that it's just not correct, which is fine. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to recut this connection here. Let's get our one. Now the reason I'm doing this with the lighter there is because this thing is not the most efficient when it warms. Alright,
there it is. Yep. The connection was reversed. Look how bright that is. That will light up that inside like nobody's business for sure. So while we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the machine off because no sense in electrocuting ourselves. Put our solder away, our flux away, and our solder away. It's supposed to go. Nice, nice, nice. All right. So, I'm gonna just unroll this whole thing. Start the way that I did before. So, let's move this guy out. There's a little slot. Just grab you. See that little slot right there? That I'm going to go from there to right there. Alright, sorry about that. You didn't miss much. I just turned the printer around and shows you how I'm going to do it. So if I look inside here, I did it in the very top, which is right up here. So what I have to do is I have to bring this guy up and around, and I think I'll just do it like this for expediency's sake. That's right there. Then I want to spin it around a little bit. So I want it right as close to the top as I can get it. Now, with this, I think what I'm going to have to do is I got to take just the top corner of this back because I want to come around if I can. Yep. I might be able to feed it through. I don't know. It might just be more expedient to let me. What is the easiest way to do that, I wonder? Yeah. I think I'm just going to take it apart. Yep. Nope. They did not want those coming apart. Where? Oh yes, much better. So we're going to keep these guys right here. Now don't go taking all of the supports off all at once. We can leave the camera where it is. But we should be able to move it back just enough doing it this way. All right, sweet. Look at that. I forgot that I bought these. See how we can just bend this out just a little bit. We're going to take it through. Come back around. All right, look at that. Okay, now we just got to move it the other side. All right, look at that.
there's that. Now, tedious task of putting all these screws back together. It's that one. Let's get this support in. Realize now you really can't see what I'm doing. Alright, it's a little better. In the front you can. See, there's a support right here. 2 screws. Same as all the rest of them though. One more screw here. So we're going to run it across. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I just really like, this is just a little extra work, but I like how my videos come out more when the light source is at the top and it surrounds the thing as it prints. Again, make sure you don't strip anything. I use the tried and true method of I go lefty loosey even though it's not in first, and then I tighten it. That allows me to lighten get the the bolts just right. Okay, so since we're done with this, I'm going to put our AMS back together. Again, I'm doing the same thing I did before. Where I am making sure it goes on the inside. All right. At the end of this video, what I'll do for you is I will do a quick go around on the interior so you can kind of see where it sits up at the top. I really like that it sits. If you watch my videos, you don't end up with any kind of shadows coming through on the vid because the light source is up high. It's just a little extra work, but it's not too bad. I'll feel that much better knowing that it's done. Don't let me forget, I still want to test out the ability of this thing to use a regular webcam. Doing the same thing. I'm just feeding it up around. I can kind of see what I'm doing. I did forget to take these supports off. Which is why I can't bend it out as far. So I started 3D printing on the Ender 3. And I know I feel very old when I say that. Because it feels like me saying, oh, back in my day. But I will say I love these new printers, and I like the fact that, let's make sure we got it going the right way. So it should be this way. Doing the same thing. I want the lights out. got it fed in. So now I just pull. I like the cages on these. I was delighted with the Flashforge. So it looks like we've got this thing spun around a little bit. Flashforge 5M was my first like modern printer. And let me tell you how delighted I was with just how, so it looks like I'm going to have to feed this back through again. I was delighted with how goodness gracious. Why didn't no one tell me I was going to do that? Let me back you up just a little bit so you'll be able to see. And I'll show you that print that I just finished up here. So I started these and forgot, I love this gold so much. I forgot that I printed the bases also in this gold. So it ended up being just this gold Christmas tree with a light in the center. I wanted to do it in white, but my I got happy with it, so I forgot. So what I will do is I will print another set of bases, but I'm going to print them in white. All right, let's feed this through correctly this time. Do our best not to kink it. Oh. All right. Now I just realized, am I going to jack up my machine? So we're going to cut right there. And I know this seems wasteful, but I didn't know exactly where I was going to end up. So we got to cut one more time. Hopefully that's okay. I don't like how I did that. Okay, so let's do this. I do like how we got that one. I like how we got this one. So let's get this corner back together so we don't forget. While I'm doing that, actually, I'll show you what I used to have to do. I still will with the 5M. So I've got to cut this guy. We'll start the printer with PETG loading. Unspool. That is just the Sunlu dryer. Wife got it for me for last Christmas, and I've used it pretty consistently ever since. We are going to steal the white off of this one. I already have these trees set up as PETG as a slicing file. I love the fact that the Flashforge printer holds the files that you've already sliced ready to go whenever you want to reprint them. I have several that I reprint all the time. I've got a lot of Christmas ones set. This is just my little piece that I use to get rid of the filament, failed prints and such. All right, the white is in. Oh, perfect. So yeah, I just emptied this thing, so it's doesn't have very much left. I am going to, while I'm thinking about it, throw a little extra glue in. I don't always, but it's been a while. All right, now that we have that, we're going here. We're going to go to the trees. I want leveling. I do like to level every once in a while. Okay. Did we finish up? No, we did not. I do have a ADHD brain. I've seen a lot of memes and YouTube videos on that lately, but I do tend to go squirrel sometimes. Okay. All right. I'm just going to leave that guy right there. We're going to spin this guy back around. Now, because I did that, so I'm going to take this guy out. I guess we'll see how this thing handles removing things while it's off. Hopefully it handles it okay. We're going to do the same thing. So I want to take this back out. I'd like to feed it up through this way. Where's our... something I noticed while we were messing around is that it looks like our solder work did not stay stuck, which is fine. Just means we got a little extra work to do once we have to get this back down in. All right, so I'm gonna say we missed one here. Probably just gonna be the 2.5. If I had to make a guess, and it is. Just gotta remember that this one is different. All right, that looks good. I like that. But this means that I got to do a little bit of work because I don't know if you see that, but when we pulled tight, it made this a little bit too short. So let me think what we're gonna do here. Okay. We are going to sacrifice a little bit. Make these a little bit longer. And yes, that does mean that it's now solder time again. All right, here we go. All right, so there's that and that. So Dinga. Hey, man, thing gets hot. Let's get that turned off. Where am I going to put it is the question. The thing is hot, hot. So I'm going to set it over here away from everything. Cooled it down a little bit, but I did burn myself, which is no bueno. Okay. So hopefully we did this right now. Let's get this bad boy plugged in, turned on. So the reason I did the little clippy deals here versus soldering this joint is if I need to switch them, I can. Hopefully that I won't need to, but there's always a possibility. I'm going to say it's probably what's going to end up happening. Yep, because it should be powered on. That's fine. All right, so we're going to turn that off then. We are going to... I love... Just throwing this out there. I love Bob Ross. The man was inspiring. I loved his generosity. Um, all right. So we're going to do red, black, Same thing this way. Oh, point with Bob Ross was that he did the little happy little accidents, and that's what doing all this is all about. It's learning and failing and trying again. All right. See if I got it this time. There is always a possibility that these little clippy deals are not small enough for these kind of wires, but we will see. So whenever this light comes on down here, we should see the lights come on right here. So I'm going to say that that's probably what the problem is that this is not these are too big for those. Just fine. Just means that they're not cutting into the wire. Alright. So that being the case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to strip it a little bit. So the other thing I could try is if I squeeze this a little bit, and I've now made the opening a little bit smaller on the inside. So we'll try that with one, and then we'll do it the regular way on the other. Now I am just now realizing that it being there is a possibility now that I've reversed the polarity. We had it right the first time. Well, that stinks. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do now then, since this doesn't seem to be doing it, it's not holding it in place. So what I'm going to do is a little bit scary. I'm going to flip this guy on. Make sure we got it right polarity, and then I'm going to solder these so it's a better connection. But I want to make sure that I've got them correct before I solder them, so I don't want to have to go back and do it. So I'm doing this live. I'm waiting for the green light to come on, and as soon as it does, I will touch these together like so. Alright, so we know that that's correct. Flip this off. Throwing a little flux on these. I'm going to twist them. Okay. Let's go get that dangerous guy. Okay. Well, we're going to test to see if we can get this 3D printer to do what we want, because the last time I had a power outage, it decided to lose its mind and nearly broke the head off of the print that was on the table. All right. So red to red. Yes to recovery print. All right, definitely not my prettiest job for sure, but that'll work. All right, next one. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if it's the last update or what, but I have not been able to get it to do a good recovery print. All right, there's that. Let's do the same thing for this one. Which stinks because now I've got to reconnect the head and start a 2-hour print back again. All right, same thing. Let's get this thing off and cool it down. I think I am going to invest in a stand. Now I can just put it away when I'm done. But till then, we'll just set it here. It'll be fine. Okay. I am going to. I don't think I have any shrink wrap with me. All right, 2 seconds. All right, I forgot that I had these, so I actually stopped what I was doing, cut what I soldered, and then put a couple of these on. These are really nice. Twist the wire a little bit. Make sure they go in nice. But it has solder in it already, which means you just heat it up with a heat gun or lighter or whatever you got available. Fortunately, it does seem like I had to open this guy up just a little bit. One end's a little bit smaller than the other, unfortunately. Fine. Another one of those happy accidents. Let's see if we got one that's a little bit bigger. Alright, y'all. It's dinner, so I'll see you in a bit. Alright, y'all. Back to it. Dinner was pork chops and asparagus tonight. Very delicious. That. Perfect. Alright, let's test. Make sure that we got something going. I think we got it this time, though. I am going to throw some screws in on this support. I wasn't thinking earlier. Look at the lights on that. Alright, let me get these in and then we'll spin around and then we can look at what it looks like. Just an update on that print on the other one there. It did end up failing. So we will restart it because I do want those Christmas trees really bad. I think they will look phenomenal, just as it did in the gold. All right, that's in, that's in. But now that we know that it's working, we might as well switch up and put the plate back on. Remember to put this off. These go just like that. This sits down just like that. And these were just the same, more the same. I remember correctly. Where did I put that screwdriver? I just had it in my hand, did I not? I did. Right there. These are all Phillips. Now we do have two that are not. We do have those two that are not. So I figured let's throw those guys in. That was the smaller Allen wrench. This is for the hoop shoot. And we'll get some of these splatters off once we've got everything on. Okay. One down here. One down here, and then we should have two left. And like I say before, I am just using the German torque method of good and tight. I'm trying not to over torque it. Oh, yes. Okay. Now before we forget, that goes on. Let's get our flux put away. Get all of our tools put away here. These go in with the solder. I really do highly recommend this. Honestly, I might put this link, the affiliate link to these, in my description. Yeah, they are very, very good. We can go and slide these in. Try to keep all this stuff together. These did not end up working just because they a little bit too big. These can go here. That goes there. We'll put number 4 back on. Let me pick a good filament. I think I'm going to go with the purple that I wanted to go with earlier. It is also PETG. So right now the whole thing's loaded up with PETG items. This is just going to go right into 4. Good, good, good. That is all good. Good. That seems to be pulling in okay. All right. First look. Spectacular. I love it. Look at that. That looks spectacular. I might use this. I've got a buddy that just got a 5X as well. And he's probably going to want a little bit of light for his. So let's go through. I'll get on the old computer here. Let's pick something quick, something fun. First, let's fix the print we had here. So if you noticed, you see how the fan popped off? It is fixable. Yeah, I don't know. That stinks. Oh, get you one of these nice metal spackling. They work really well to get that filament off. All right, let's try our Christmas trees again. We already leveled, but we're just gonna let it go. Oh. Let's zero this guy out, make sure it's still good to go. We'll get him out of the way too, and I'll bring you over and you can see what I was talking about with that. So I'm just gonna go to, we'll do a quick benchy. Actually, let's take that and we'll do Maker's Lab. Or not Maker's Lab, Maker World, excuse me. Maker World, we'll do color benchy. I'm going to pull up Orca, Flashforge Orca. And do need to update Orca. So let me get that set up and I will hit you guys up when I'm ready to send it. Okay, so what I've learned is Orca is not the most intuitive software. It is very, very cool once you figure it out, but it's not the most intuitive. So it took me a second to figure out that I had to paint it. Right now I'm logging in. So give me 2 seconds. All right. Device. Sweet. Hold on. So you can see my devices there. So I should be able to send stuff to it. Okay, so prepare what I did for the benchy. So that's the purge towers. Is there any way, can I decide to do something with the purge tower? I don't know. I gotta figure that one out. Okay, so it did that automatically for me, which is cool. I did do the print plate, and I want to send. Is it going to let me pick? Okay, sweet. So I do get to choose the cut where it's going. So I also want to do a leveling. Um, yep, 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 and go. Couldn't get you there fast enough, but it did take it. So I guess we'll see if it'll. So I sent it. I wonder if I now have to. Material. This one should be black. So I sent it, but it didn't. It didn't want to print on its own. So let's see what it's going to do now. First inaugural print of this thing. Let's see how she does. And I did earlier take a little bit of glue and throw it on the bed. So we should have a nice bed to start with. All right, so throwing it out there, I do have a. I do have a camera that I wanted to try. So from what I gather, I should be able to throw this in. And if it recognizes it, it should be able to use this as the camera, but I kind of think I have to unplug the other camera. So I'll test that later. But I do have available. It is starting to heat up. There is a little bit of a delay. If you look at the watch, which is fine. Now I have to wonder, is that really going to take 5 hours and 48 minutes to print? Because if it is, that's going to be nutso for a benchy. So I really hope that's... I really hope that time is a little bit on the off side. Hmm. Sweet. So that estimate seems to be correct. At 5 hours, and that just seems wrong. Does it really take that long to print? Uh, see what it would take if it was just a regular benchy purple. Maybe it's just the model, honestly. 'Cause that said 42 minutes. I don't think that's great. Yeah, someone put their name on this one, which is, I get it. You're gonna put a benchy out there, and I was trying to be fancy and get one that was like the multicolor already, but I think that's where I got messed up. I probably should have just let's exit this. That stuff sticks stuff so well. All right. See, that one's 4 hours. Goodness gracious. Um, I don't know what I want. Simple. Hmm. Okay. Let's send. Just doing that, doing that. We don't need the level. I'm just gonna do the Christmas tree bases in black. I just want to see how this thing performs. I'm not wanting to do the full color right now. Let's just see what it looks like. Um, there it is. And then next, we gotta choose the color that we want as black and go. All right, well, I'm not going to hold you guys on this. I think what we'll do is we'll let it go and then see how it comes out. For now, thanks. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
All right, big reveal. I was trying to think of a name. The purple. I don't know. What do you guys think? I really like how it got the eyes and all the spikes and whatever being purple is just spectacular. Next stop, I need to get a poop chute made for this thing. Um, that's all the poop that was made from creating just this small little thing. So I gotta get better at that. But I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time.